Good morning, everybody. Match 30 of the 1987 Cricket World Cup was played at Delhi today. The last match of the group stage before the quarterfinals. There's a match between England versus Holland. There wasn't really that much riding on it, apart from the fact that an England victory would set them up a quarterfinal with New Zealand and condemn Australia to a mouth-watering quarterfinal against the West Indies. Holland, even if they pulled off one of the biggest upset in World Cup history, they wouldn't overtake. The run rate was so bad that they wouldn't overtake Sri Lanka, so they had nothing much riding on it. The pitch yesterday. Yesterday we saw that absolute enthralling match between Pakistan and the West Indies. That was on a normal sort of slowish wicket. This pitch was a little bit quicker. It was quite dry and quite dusty, and I said it was about 25 degrees in Delhi today. Well, it's back to 37 degrees today, so it's boiling hot. And England won the toss and elected to bat first. They've done pretty well batting first in this tournament. 244 for 9 against Kenya and 296 for 4 against Sri Lanka. And this was the outcome, and you won't be surprised to know it ended in an emphatic victory for England. England, very comfortable throughout. 269 for 5 from their 50 overs. A professional score from England. They scored 4 more runs than what they managed 8 years ago against Holland in Kandy, where they hit 265 for 6. All of them got starts. 37 extras bowled. Holland's bowling wasn't unbelievable. 92 of 117 deliveries for the informed Graham Gooch. Been in good form this World Cup. 13 for Tim Robinson. Bill Affey 21. 25 for the captain, Mike Gattin. 40 off about 45 deliveries for Alan Lamb, showing his form. Some quick runs at the end there. 25 of 26 deliveries for John Embry and 16 not out for De Freitas of 8 deliveries. 269 for 5. More than respectable score. Right arm medium fast bowler 52 for 1. Right arm medium pacer 24 for 0. Right arm fast bowler went for plenty of runs, 0 for 60, 1 for 33 for the slow left armour. The off spinner 0 for 27, and the other right arm medium fast bowler 3 for 56. Holland's response is that they were about 33 for 3 for about 6 overs, and the game was all but done and dusted. Have a look at the England bowling in a moment. 1 for 17, 57, 5, 2, 21, 2, 5, 1 and 0 not out. 132 all out in 40.2 overs. 3 run-outs. England's fielding was absolutely spectacular, and their fielding was absolutely fantastic. Certainly bouncing back from that defeat against India. Certainly a blip. Have a look at the England main bowlers, though. Mike Gattin decided to rest some of his main bowlers. None of his main bowlers bowled, apart from Eddie Emmons, who took 1 for 32, bowled his full 10 overs. All the others bowled 6 overs. And first ever international wicket for Bill Affey, 1 for 19. 2 wickets for 17 for Alan Lamb, who hardly bowls in international cricket. He decided to give his part-time bowlers a rest, to give his frontline bowlers a rest due to the fact that the game was all but done and dusted in the first 12 overs. 1 for 22 for John Embry. Look at those figures. 6 overs, 1 for 4 for Phil De Freitas. Absolutely awesome. 0 for 19 for Neil Foster. Gladstone Small 15 for 1. And as said before, Eddie Emmons 1 for 32. The only person to bowl his full 10 overs. The final summary of this match: England versus Holland, Delhi. England won the toss on a hard, dry pitch and elected to bat first. They hit 269 for 5 from their 50 overs. Holland all out for 132 in response. England securing their biggest win of this tournament so far by 137 runs. And his second man of the match award, a man of the match for the second time this tournament, Graham Gooch, for a magnificent 92 off 117 balls, setting up England's mammoth total. It was 92, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 92 off 117 balls. What a tournament he's had so far. This is what it means for Group 2. India finished for a full 100% record. England finished second. Australia finished third. Sri Lanka finished fourth. Holland finished fifth. And Kenya finished bottom of the table with 0 points. Going back to Group 1 again, it's confirmed Group 1. Pakistan finished fourth for 100% record for the first time ever. West Indies finished second. New Zealand finished third. Zimbabwe finished fourth. Ireland finished outside. Ireland go out with 1 win. And Rebel South Africa 11 lose all 5 of their games. We're going to have a look at the quarter-final lineup in a moment. Just save the game. And then obviously we'll have a look at the England star players. So the group stage is over, and this is the quarter-final lineup. Pakistan will play Sri Lanka in the first quarter-final. West Indies, Australia. That's going to be mouth-watering. How will West Indies recover from that agonising defeat against Pakistan a couple of days ago? Australia playing pretty well and especially showing form when they're batting first this tournament. New Zealand versus England, a repeat. That West Indies-Australia match, a repeatable World Cup final of 1975. New Zealand England repeat of the 1979 semi-final, which England won by 13 runs, and Zimbabwe versus India in the final, in the fourth and final quarter-final. And obviously winners of Pakistan, Sri Lanka will play the winners of West Indies, Australia, and vice versa. Let's have a look at the England star players. They've all had pretty solid games, especially Graham Gooch. I think Gooch got his third 50 of the tournament today, and we'll have a look at his record in a moment. Start off the thing. 1 wicket, 5 wickets in 3 matches for Eddie Hemmings at an average of 15. Hasn't got an average with a bat yet. Another not out for Phil de Freitas, so he's averaging 27 with a bat now. Took a wicket as well, 9 wickets in 5 matches, an average of 14. He's had a solid tournament. 40 more runs for Alan Lamb, 296 runs in 5 matches at an average of 74. And he bowled for the second time in the tournament and got his first wickets of the tournament, average of 10. Graham Gooch, 268 runs in 5 innings at an average of 53. I think he's got 350s in his 5 innings and averaging 33 with a ball, but obviously he's there for his batting. So, yes, indeed. England, unsurprisingly, through to the quarterfinals. Pretty mouthful. Well, I say mouthful in lineup, but I'd say 3 of the quarterfinals are going to be quite, in my opinion, there is only potentially could be 1 win at the way the teams are playing. Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Pakistan should beat Sri Lanka. If Sri Lanka did repeated their victory from 1979, that famous 1-wicket victory of a final ball where Fiddleton John hit the winning 4 in the most dramatic fashion possible, it would be a major upset. But this Pakistan side has looked to be complete team of the tournament. They are my favourites for the World Cup. They are the bookies' favourites for the World Cup at 7-4. I expect them to beat Sri Lanka. The Australia-West Indies match is going to be an absolute thriller, in my opinion. I think West Indies, how would they psychologically recover from having lost a match against Pakistan, which they should have won by the barest of margins, the first time that they probably suffered under the pressure this tournament. Australia, whenever they batted first in the tournament, they've batted well, and they've not been disgraced in losing to India and England. They should have beaten England in the opening match, and yet Alan Lamb pulled something spectacular out of the hat in that game. And even though they lost by 56 runs, they batted throughout their full 50 overs against India and made India work hard for their victory. They look pretty good in the tournament. I can't predict that match. It could go any way. It depends on which West Indies side turn up. West Indies have been not great with a bat this tournament on occasions, but now they're up against a top-class team. Will they raise their game? They always seem to historically raise their game against the bigger teams, and when they get to the knockout phases, they seem to peak at the right time. England versus New Zealand. New Zealand have been unconvincing, whereas England have been pretty flawless throughout this tournament, apart from a defeat against India, which we think was a blip. England, I think, will beat New Zealand, and India should beat Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe's batting throughout this tournament hasn't been great. India's bowling's not been 100% great. Their fielding's been pretty solid. I do expect India to reach the semi-finals, so I'm expecting potentially Pakistan versus Australia or West Indies, and India versus England in the World Cup semi-final. So that's it from the group stage until the next match between Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. I should also point out that so obviously news was broken at the halfway point of today's game, and the ICC have confirmed the worst kept secret ever. The next World Cup in 1991 has been confirmed. It will be held in Australia. It was a toss-up between Australia or England, which was going to host the 91 World Cup. England would have been hosting it for the second time, but they've decided to give it to Australia. So Australia will host the next World Cup in 4 years' time in 1991. So we now know the host nation of the 5th World Cup in 4 years' time. So that was a bit of breaking news early on today. But that's all from me, Lawrence Howard, reporting on the 1987 World Cup in India, being played on Prime Live on PlayStation. We'll see you for the first quarter-final between Pakistan and West Indies in a couple of days. Pakistan versus Sri Lanka in a couple of days' time. Until then, it's bye-bye from me. Bye-bye.